Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome in if this is your first time being here. My name is Melissa. This is Empowered Gems Tarot, and in today's reading, we're going to be looking into the month of December and what is in store for you. We will be working with oracle and tarot cards in this reading, as well as charms and dice. So make sure that you stay tuned because we're going to get you a full comprehensive overview of what the month ahead is likely to pan out for you. Remember that this is a general collective reading on YouTube, so messages will vary in how specifically they're going to resonate with each individual viewer out there. So always use your discretion as a best practice. If anything feels confusing or doesn't feel like it really fits what you know your situation to be, just take it as a sign that it's not your message today. Release it, let it go. Understand that sometimes the messages in these collective readings are meant for others that are out there in the collective watching. If you guys did want to book a personal reading, the link to my website is in the description box down below. Personal readings can be a great way to get a more accurate read on your own personal energy and situation. With all of that being said, we will now go ahead and select your reading. So we've got 3 groups today. If you're drawn to group 1, we will be working with this Scolecite crystal. If you're drawn to group 2, we have Moonstone. And if you're drawn to group 3, we have Chalcedony. I almost forgot what it was. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about this upcoming month of December and what you need to know. Go ahead and select the card or crystal that you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And when you are done, go ahead and scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will skip you ahead to your chosen reading. See you there. Hello, group 1. Welcome to your reading. We're going to be looking into what's ahead for you in the month of December using tarot and oracle cards as well as charms. I'll have the charms timestamp below in case any of you guys like to skip ahead to that portion a little bit sooner. You guys did select this Scolecite crystal, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the tarot and oracles for you. So overall energy this month, we have autumn. It's such a beautiful color. We have yin yang. We have Yule log. And then we have sun in Pisces in the 12th vision. Okay. So I feel like there's this really beautiful energy of release, celebration, and sort of like forward thinking this month that's coming up for you guys, group 1. And it's interesting you guys pick Scolecite because this is always giving me like a very peaceful sort of angelic energy to it. So I feel like for a lot of my group 1 viewers, you guys are in a space where you're sort of looking back on this year, which makes sense in December, right? We're at the end of the calendar year. I feel like a lot of you are sort of looking back on this year and you're thinking a lot about what have I invested? What are the fruits of my labor for all of the efforts that I put into life this year? And I think you're feeling pretty at peace with where you are. I think you're feeling really good about where you are with certain accomplishments or goals or things in your life. And I think autumn coming up is really beautiful because it does indicate a time where we're sort of like reaping the rewards, reaping the harvest of our hard work, but it's also the season right before winter, which is a metaphorical resting time. And that's kind of where I see you guys drawing into. Like it's sort of this energy of pulling back energy and just kind of sitting in celebration of all of the accomplishments while also thinking about, okay, what's next for me? What do I want to do next year? The Yule log kind of indicates celebration for me as well. This says, insert me with a bleeding thought, a sacred creation birthed from thy. I am God, I am goddess, I am creation and the creator. So this is like manifestation energy. And with the candles here, again, it's making me feel like celebration is significant. You guys could be just having more fun, enjoying yourself more during this time, during this season, getting more rest in. So maybe this is a period of, again, yin, going within versus that yang of output being so important. It just feels like a very zen, enjoyable month, group 1. I'm super excited for you. We'll see. We're going to get more into the tarot in a moment here. We do also have the sun in Pisces vision in the 12th. So, the 12th house, it is kind of an introspective house. This is going to be spiritual energy, psychic energy. Maybe some of you guys are spending a little bit more time alone, or again, spending more time resting. But the sun is here and we have this energy of vision. And so again, I feel like very much this group is very much spiritually connected to the work they've done this year, the accomplishments, the challenges, the growth opportunities. I think there's a lot of reflection, and it's like the third eye is opening, meaning like you have I think strengthened your relationship with your intuition through all of the experiences that you've had. And now you're using that psychic vision, or that clear sight, to forward think and manifest what's next for you in the next year. So this is super beautiful. So now let's get into the tarot, because I feel like the tarot always just gives us the tea, right? Like the oracle cards, I feel like are sometimes a little more fluffy. So we'll see what else we get here. So what else can you tell us, Spirit, for group 1 about December? What else do they need to know? Yeah, and as I'm parting the deck, we had the 4 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. So this may have been a year where you guys have been working really hard, right? Really putting in that work to be able to reap some sort of reward here. And I do feel like rest is going to be very, very important this month. All right, Spirit. So group 1. Oh, I just realized I forgot a couple cards here. One moment, you guys. I apologize. I feel like my setup is a little chaotic today. Okay. So what else, Spirit, for group 1 in December? What else should they know? All right. Oh, look at this. The Empress. That is beautiful, you guys. I'm so happy for you. Ace of Swords. One more, please, Spirit. 4 of Swords. Yep, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I think you guys with this Empress energy, you could be reflecting on, again, all of the hard work you've put in. And the Empress is a soft feminine energy. It's the divine feminine energy. So again, the yin, it's going within and nurturing, creating, receiving, versus the output of like the push of creating something. Neither one is good or bad, but I just feel like with this Empress energy, it confirms that this is going to be a month where it's more about rest and enjoyment for you, right? Empress can tell me, just like maybe on a mundane level, you guys are doing more self-care, right? So going to the spa, or getting a facial, or maybe upgrading your physical appearance or your beauty routine or something along those lines. And whatever it is that you all are working on, it does feel like it's more about that feminine supportive energy, or feminine leadership energy, that creation energy, and self-love, which is beautiful. So it's like we're starting off this month just feeling really empowered, feeling really good in our self-worth, taking care of ourselves, resting, and just enjoying the month. And then we move into this Ace of Swords energy next, which talks about clarity of thought and clarity of communication. And so I think, again, through this beautiful connection that you all have built to your intuition, you're getting clarity about what's next for you, right? You're getting clarity about what you want to do. Maybe this is about some sort of inspired thought or idea that you have moving into the new calendar year. And maybe a part of this has to do with, I need to rest, right? For some of my group 1 viewers, you all could be mothers, right? Maybe your parents, and maybe a part of this thought process that's shifting for you has to do with more balance, getting more rest, or pulling back your energy sometimes so that you can make sure you're taking care of yourself. That could be highly significant to some of my viewers out there who connect to that message. But generally speaking, I think it's just about you getting a really restful self-care month in group 1, and just kind of breaking away from any energies that have been depleting you, exhausting you, taking more from you than they give. Because sometimes with the Empress energy, as we're cultivating and growing into that energy, we have to be really mindful of setting boundaries, because this divine feminine attracts a lot to her, right? A lot of people will be attracted to this because it's a very maternal, nurturing, vibrant, supportive energy. And so it could be that some of you guys coming into this month have been feeling a little bit depleted because maybe you've had too many people pulling at you. And so there's sort of this clarity coming in, I feel, around what you need to pull back from, right? What it is that you need a break from, what it is that's kind of depleting your mental health, if that makes sense. So now we are going to take a look at career and love just to see what themes come through for that this month. And then we'll move into your charms where we can kind of get a more comprehensive breakdown of some different areas of life. Okay. So Spirit, what does group 1 need to know about their career in this month, in the month of December? Career in the month of December, please, Spirit. We have fast changes. You'll be leaving a job suddenly or getting one very quickly, or your work may change dramatically in a short time. Go with the flow. Beautiful. So something's changing this month in your career. But I feel like with this Empress energy in autumn, I do feel like this is something that's going to feel good for you, right? Supporting, uplifting. Maybe it's more of like a feminine leadership position that you're taking, or you get to be in a leadership position, but it's more about nurturing and cultivating something, which is super beautiful. But again, it's like this message talks about going with the flow. So very much embodying this energy of not trying to control the outcome, just kind of rolling with the changes and being fluid and flexible here. We also have opportunity. Doors are opening up for you. You have the chance to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. Just do it. So yes, this may be a new opportunity that's coming towards you in career group 1, which is very exciting. I love that for you. All right, now let's take a look at love. So what does group 1 generally need to know, Spirit, about their love life in December? And of course, there will be a love reading. I think should already be posted by the time this is up. So if you're specifically looking at love for December, you might want to go to that one. This will just give us a general overview. So what does group 1 need to know about love this month, please, Spirit? Okay, we do have sexuality. This says someone is still figuring themselves out. Okay. So maybe that's a core theme that some of you guys are navigating through this month. Maybe this could have to do with a partner as well. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with like, what are you into in terms of like men or women or whatever. Like this could just have to do with you exploring your sexual side in general, right? And figuring out what you like, what you don't like, what resonates with you. I'm going to pull just one more, just in case that isn't really like resonating with everybody. One more, please, Spirit. We also have narcissist coming through. Someone is too full of themselves. So that kind of ties back to what I was getting at with the boundaries energy of the Empress, right? Like, I think that you guys, it's interesting with the mirror being here because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might act as a mirror to some people, or maybe somebody's acted as a mirror for you to kind of highlight for you where it's important for you to kind of take better care of yourself by setting clear boundaries, right? Because this type of person is definitely going to be drawn to an Empress, right? Because of how much you can give them, your nurturing, caring energy. But there's someone here that basically Spirit is saying like they're taking more than they're giving. And I think this is part of what you guys are likely trusting your intuition about and resting into, like taking a rest from or pulling back your energy from. And even if it's not one in particular person, this just could be a theme, right? Something you've noticed this year that's going to be shifting and changing for you as you're more aware of it. So group 1, I'm going to clear all of our cards away, and next we're going to dive into your charms. All right, group 1. So let's take a look at charms and dice and see what additional insight we can get for your month of December. Let's see. Ooh, okay. That was aggressive. All right, let's take a look. We're just gonna, anything that doesn't cleanly land anywhere, I'm gonna pull away. Let's go ahead and grab a few charms for you guys. So what else, Spirit, for group 1 in the month of December? What do they need to know? All right, let's see. I'm gonna just pull a couple more. Ooh. Okay. Nice. Career, waxing crescent, let's see. You have some stuff coming up in your well-being, which is interesting, right? Like, so this kind of, it reminds me of like this Empress energy. So I know this talks about health and well-being. So not necessarily tapping into anything connected to physical health for people. We don't really talk about that in tarot anyway, but with this little teddy bear and this skull and crossbones, there's something that like you guys are registering as like a red flag, right? Like especially with this little teddy bear, because this talks about trauma, and with the teddy bear I always think of like childhood wounds or childhood issues. And so I kind of feel with that Empress, I was getting that a lot of my group 1 viewers have been learning about setting boundaries and protecting their energy a little bit more this month. And so I think that you guys are learning here that like something or someone within your auric field, whether it's like the way you're showing up with your career or your work endeavors, or like a person in your life who's kind of maybe narcissistic or self-serving, like you're starting to pay closer attention to those red flags. And maybe there's a realization that some of your engagement in these connections, or this pull toward these types of connections, have been inflicted by childhood patterns. So I see this more as like you're becoming aware of patterns that impact your well-being to your detriment, and you're learning to pay attention and attune to those types of red flags and take better care of yourself through setting boundaries. That's what I feel, group 1. Now it's interesting. So I want to talk a little bit about love and partnerships here. So you guys have the waxing crescent moon coming up. This talks about moving toward your goals. So I feel like maybe for some of you guys, this is really beautiful because it talks about when we're just kind of starting our manifestation. And that's what I was getting with this autumn and some of these other cards, right? It's about what am I closing out? What am I proud of from this year? But then what am I creating as I move into the next year? And I think that you guys are in manifestation mode when it comes to love. I think that you're releasing a lot of the toxic patterns or traits or people from the past, and you're through transmuting that energy, releasing that energy, you're starting the process of welcoming in something different. I also feel for a lot of my group 1 viewers, there's going to be more investment in community and people. So there could be like some social stuff that you guys go to with the pentacle here. This could be work related stuff. But there's like a commitment here to something that's more stable and tangible and something more supportive over a long period of time as it pertains to groups of people. So whether this is at work or outside of work, social stuff, I feel like through you guys doing this, you're going to start to meet new people, which is great, especially if you're single and you guys are wanting to meet someone. I feel like Spirit is saying investment in community is going to help connect you to better quality partners. So just like pick something that feels stable. I feel like with this pentacle, pick something that feels aligned with your values. And with the diamond, commit to it and just see what happens. So like avoid like going to something one time and then like, I don't saying you don't like that. Try it out for a little bit and let it see what ROI it can get you. And with the key here, the key is kind of showing up here. It's sort of between the love and partnerships and the social life aspect here. So this is about unlocking spiritual insight, which I think you guys already had with that Pisces energy. This just confirms it. I think that you have the answers. I feel like you guys already know that you're supposed to be doing this is kind of what I'm getting. It's like Spirit wants you to go out, invest in your social life, and this is helping you manifest this, okay? All right, now you guys also have some energy showing up here in career and business as well as in finances. So you all have a heart showing up in career, and so the heart talks about self-love and romance. I wonder if some of you guys are meeting a partner through romance. I mean, through through career stuff. Maybe that's why we have that pentacle, something you've committed to in your career that could be leading you to, like, it feels like some of this could be interconnected. So I feel like some of you guys could be romantically connecting with someone at work, but for others of you, this to me just kind of speaks of doing what you love at work. And we did get this energy where there's fast changes coming in with the Empress, maybe a new role where you get to create or cultivate a little bit more, which is beautiful. With the 8th house coming up under finances and wealth this month, there's an emphasis on shared resources. Okay, so 8th house energy could be like receiving something. So think of like a bonus, maybe like relocation support. It's like other people's resources that you're not necessarily earning with your own labor. 8th house can also talk about debts and stuff like that too, or taxes. So that could be significant for some of you guys. Maybe inheritances is significant. So just keep that in mind. could play out many ways. We have some spirit and self energy coming up. So we've got the wheel, which talks about navigation. We do also have a star showing up here. And this particular star talks about dream fulfillment. This is so beautiful. Yeah, I think this kind of speaks to the overarching energy that we got in your reading, which is about navigating toward where your higher self, your intuition wants you to go in order to fulfill your dreams. And I do feel like that's happening with love and social life, and maybe even something in your career, where you guys are you're trusting your gut and your higher self through the lessons that you've learned this year and maybe prior. And it's guiding you toward a more fulfilled spiritual life. So this is really beautiful, group one. The only other thing that I see here is the letter Q under your advice and guidance. And so what I'm getting from this is questions. Ask questions. Be curious. Be quizzical. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I feel like that's what is coming to mind when I get the letter Q. Maybe some of you guys get something else, but when I think of advice, I feel like there's a need to ask questions this month. Okay? So this is what I see, group one. Let me know in the comments what's been happening for you and what you have planned for this month. This looks beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next reading really soon. Bye. Hey, group two, welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to this Moonstone crystal, this will be your message. So we're looking into what is next this month in December. So we're going to start with tarot and oracle, and then we will transition to charms and dice. If you guys like to skip to the dice and charms, I'll have that timestamp below for you, so you can go to that a little earlier. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Overall energies, we have sublimation. We've got Jupiter and Pisces in the 12th, seduction. Ceremony. And the storm warning. Okay. All right, group two. So what is happening overall energy this month? So sublimation and ceremony are really interesting because the sublimation card, it talks about rising above, ascension, like your soul or yourself, your spirit being ready to go to the next level in something, to rise above something, to separate yourself from something. And I feel very strongly, and then like the ceremony card, this talks about rites of passage, right? Like it's about rites of passage, setting intentions for a new direction. And this even talks about it, right? It says, hear thy praise spilling from thy lips, a spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me, right? And so I think you guys are setting intentions around moving in a new and different direction this month, because I feel very strongly for a lot of you guys with this Jupiter and Pisces and this storm warning, especially because this says seduction on it. This could be connected to your love life, but it could just be connected to the way you're interacting with others in general. Pisces energy is very self-sacrificing, right? And it's an energy where we can get lost in other people, or we can kind of idealize other people and maybe not see them clearly. There can be a lot of projection. Pisces is a beautiful spiritual energy. So maybe you guys have been learning a lot of spiritual lessons through others this year, especially with Jupiter. It's like Jupiter is expansion energy. But I think the problem that you guys have been seeing, or what you're kind of realizing, is that there could be a tendency here to ignore red flags or to stay in situations longer than is needed of you. And you may have a tendency of being taken advantage of, or maybe you've noticed that other people are taking from you or sort of luring you into situations with your compassion and empathy, and it's causing more problems for you than it's causing blessings and benefits, right? And Jupiter is, like I was saying, it's an energy of expansion. It's in the 12th house here in Pisces. So 12th house energy can talk about like hidden enemies, for instance, right? Not saying that you guys have a lot of hidden enemies, but I feel like with Pisces, it's more like passive aggressive in a way where there might be like an empathy or a charm or charisma or a spiritual energy where you're connecting with a lot of people, maybe with positive intent. Maybe both people have positive intent in the situation, but there might be some kind of hidden patterns or messy energy that blurs boundaries, if that makes sense, right? So I think I say all that to say, I feel like this group is really about like rising above that energy this year, or not this. Well, yeah, I think this year, this is December's reading, but I think you're thinking a lot about like, as we close out December, going into the next year, starting in January, I think you're ready to set some new and different intentions for yourself, because I think you want more than this. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Group 2. What else does group 2 need to know? Please, Spirit, about the month of December and what's in store for them. This deck is like really painful to shuffle, by the way. What else does group 2 need to know about the month of December, please? Ten of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Wow, okay. Seven of Wands. And then we also have the Queen of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So it's interesting, you guys, because I feel like all that spiritual energy, those spiritual lessons are very much playing out in life, like in real life. And I think that's probably why there's this intention being set where it's like, I want to move on from this. I want to separate myself from this. I want to move to the next level. I want to distance myself, if that makes sense. For some of you guys, I feel like with this storm warning, you know, the storm warning does talk about like red flags or trouble on the horizon. And I feel with this Ten of Pentacles that maybe the problem that you're facing in December, or what's kind of causing this desire for elevation, the Ten of Pentacles can talk about like family. It can talk about legacy. It can talk about what we've built up for ourselves over a long period of time. Okay. And then we also have the Queen of Pentacles here as well. So this is an archetype of somebody who is hardworking, somebody who is responsible. So this could connect to your career, but I'm also getting with this Queen of Pentacles, this is like wife energy, like maternal energy for some of you. So maybe you relate to those archetypes of being a wife, a mother, a homemaker. Maybe for those of you watching, this is about a wife, mother, homemaker in your life, someone that you've built up this legacy with. I feel like there is some sort of desire here, there's something here where I feel like that those structures are compromised, because I see it here with this Five of Pentacles as well, right? And this, maybe for those of you that this is not about like family stuff, the Ten of Pentacles can also talk about work, right? Maybe our career and the legacy we've built up in our career. So just kind of take it as it resonates for you. Again, it's a general reading, so there can be other ways we look at things, right? But I feel like with this Five of Pentacles being here, there's definitely cracks in this foundation, right? Because the 10 and the 5, these are very different energies. This 10 of Pentacles is like, I've built this structure with my partner or with the people around me, my family, over a very long period of time. This is about, I have a legacy to pass down to my children. Or maybe I inherited a legacy from my ancestors that I can then pass down to my children, right? It's long-term building. The Five of Pentacles is when we are down and out, right? It's like we are going from having all of this to having not enough, right? This is like, we're literally seeing two people that are homeless, that have been cast out, who are needing help, okay? So I'm not saying people here are literally going to end up being homeless, so don't take that super literally. It's just the energy of going from having to not having that I'm seeing coming up here. And the Five of Pentacles can talk about, you know, like this can be taking a blow to your sense of self-worth or self-esteem here. Maybe some of you guys are feeling abandoned by family, misunderstood by family, minimized by family. Maybe you've been cast out of whatever this is. And there's this energy with the Seven of Wands of wanting to kind of defend yourself, to want to stand your ground, of wanting to push forward. So it's interesting, you guys, because there is this separation that I'm seeing, like this desire to separate or rise above something or move to the next level. But I feel like with this Five of Pentacles, it's not going to come without some difficult feelings, right? So, like it's a kind of it's hitting your self-worth. a little bit is what I see. Okay. So this is really interesting. I'm definitely very curious to get into your charms, group 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one card for career for you for this month, and then we'll pull another card for love. And then we're going to get into the charms to see if we can build out some more specifics around what is happening for you. So Spirit, for group number 2, tell me what's happening, please, in career this month, overall energy. Our most prominent theme they should be aware of. We have short term. This position is temporary, so don't be too attached to it. No worries. You will find something that's even more fulfilling and prosperous. Interesting. We do have new life. You may be getting a fresh start or be called to bring a new perspective to your old job. You may also get a tempting job offer or a new place. So there's definitely like an energy of new beginnings coming up in your career this month, group number 2. Maybe there's like a temporary or transitionary type of position that you're taking. And maybe that's where some of this is coming from. If this is connected to your career or the legacy you've built, maybe it's kind of going from something that you were known for that's more established to something where you're going to need help. Something where it's like, this isn't really in my comfort zone. I feel kind of outcast or cast aside in some regards here. I'm not sure like how that would specifically play out. This can even just talk about feeling like an outsider, feeling like you don't belong, right? So that could be something that's at play here for you as well. But it's going to be okay, group 2, because I see like, you have something. You just want to look at it as it's like a means to an end. It's not necessarily a permanent solution. But this is really beautiful because this is talking about a fresh start. And I do feel very strongly that there is an energy of a fresh start. But I don't know why for some of you guys, I feel like there is this like clinging to the comfort. So like you're wanting to, like the universe is wanting you to rise and separate, because I feel like there's something about the current situation that's not serving you in your highest good with the storm warning and the seduction card. But I think there's still a little bit of defensiveness over like, this is my territory, or this is what I want, or, like there's like these opportunities for new beginning, but I feel there could be a little bit of resistance to it. Take that as it resonates for you. That may not be the case for everybody, but it is what I see. Okay. So let's take a look at love life. And there is a video that's posted specifically for love life in December. So if you guys want that, like a more in-depth read on love, you can always check back to that video. So what is the overall theme for love for group 2 this month, please, Spirit? What do they need to know about their love life? Communicate. Compromise, forgive, and work it out. Maybe that's what this storm warning and this 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles energy is about. So communication, maybe addressing problems, being more clear in the way we're addressing people versus like, escaping or projecting, right? And maybe that's where some of the 7 of Wands energy is coming into play as well. Maybe some of you guys are needing to kind of feeling the need to stand up for yourself or stand your ground or advocate for a particular position here with someone. So this is super interesting, group 2. I'm going to clear all the cards out and we're going to look at charms next to see what other insights we can get for you. All right, group 2. So let's go ahead and look at charms and dice. I'm super interested to see what else Spirit wants to illuminate for you about your month of December. Looks like you have some pretty big changes you're navigating. Okay. So we've got career and business. We've got love and partnerships. We have finances and wealth coming through. Okay, let's grab some charms. What else, Spirit, for group number 2 this month? What do they need to know? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there's definitely some tough partnership stuff coming through that I see. All right. So, goodness, lots happening. All right. So, career and business, I definitely agree with what we got in your tarot group 2, that there seems to be some renewed energy around career. Maybe there's a new job that you're moving into. You know, the fire element is here, which is awesome because this talks about energy and drive and passion. You also have some initials here. So these could be initials, letter F, letter D. These could be initials of like something to do with the work that you do or colleagues potentially. So just take that however it resonates best for you. But yeah, I feel like there's some sort of renewed passion and drive in your career this month, which is, it's a really nice energy to see. You definitely have some sort of new beginning when it comes to career. Now, in your financial section, you've got the letter E. So again, take that as it resonates for whatever initial or whatever that can mean for you. But we also have the second house coming up. So the second house is an emphasis on our resources, our income. And maybe for some of you guys, I'm wondering if you're moving from one type of job or career or company that's more established to something that might feel like less than what you have been able to get in the past, right? And maybe that's why this is a short-term energy. The positive thing is like you're passionate about whatever this is, but there is like an emphasis on the second house this month, which can have to do with, you know, the money that you're earning. Second house can also talk about worth though, right? And our relationship with money and resources and the worth that we associate to those things. So I do think there is a theme with that Five of Pentacles around like your value, your worth. How does that connect to your relationship with money and resources, right? It may not be that you guys don't really have enough, but it might feel for some of you like maybe I didn't advocate for my worth, or maybe it feels like, you know, I'm used to this and I feel like I went to this. And even though it's technically enough, it makes me feel like I'm not worthy anymore, right? So just take that as it resonates for you. It just feels like there are some themes there around self-worth as it's tied to resources. Okay. You guys have the little treble clef here with health and well-being. So that's really beautiful to see. Maybe music is something that you guys are turning to this month to support your health and just overall well-being. I mean, music is a great healer. Let's see. I know that I listen to music all the time. But this generally just kind of talks about harmony and being in sync with something, right? So I think things are feeling really good for you with health and well-being matters this month. Again, there's like this desire to rise above or remove ourselves from anything that is, you know, toxic or taking too more from us or isn't clearly for us. And again, I do think there is someone or some of you out there that are specifically leaning on music to kind of get you through the month as well. Now, we have a lot of stuff happening over here when it comes to partnerships. We have the letter A, so this could be somebody's initials here. But love and partnerships seem to be pretty significant. You guys have the waxing crescent moon. This talks about moving toward your goals. So there could be some sort of renewed sense of working on something when it comes to love and partnerships. There's a lot here, you guys. We've got loyalty energy with the swan. We have the moon and stars, which talk about being adored. When that comes up, I always think of that phrase that we think someone hung the moon and stars, meaning we really put them up on a pedestal. We are really idealizing them. And then we also have the little teddy bear here, which for me, it's connected to the keyword of trauma. But when I see a teddy bear, I think of childhood stuff, right? And so I'm wondering if some of you guys are working toward a goal with a partner or manifesting a new partner, and some of the traits that you're looking for align with some of these things, right? Like I want a partner that's loyal, or maybe we're working on loyalty in a current partnership. But the projection is coming up a little bit with this moon and stars, okay? And I think that is maybe what's tied to the childhood stuff and that Pisces energy that we got here in your tarot and oracles, right? Like this card literally talks about the word seduction, like being so compassionate and empathetic, and like there can be like a naivete with it where if we're not careful, we can project or idealize and not see somebody fully clearly, right? So I would just watch for that group too. Like just really be mindful that you're not projecting onto someone or idealizing someone or putting them up on a pedestal. I think if you are finding yourself doing that, or if you're working through those patterns that you're aware of in yourself, it's probably coming from childhood stuff for you, okay? But whether you're partnered or not, I do see with this waxing crescent moon, like we're trying to work toward goals specifically centered around like our loyalty to each other And maybe even just with this moon and stars, it's around like, how do we adore each other again? Like, how do we lift each other up again, right? It doesn't necessarily always have to be tied to like anything negative, but just with that childhood trauma charm coming up, I just wanted to flag that for those of you that may resonate with. Okay. You have the button here under spirit and self. So this talks about pushing through. So I do kind of get that with this comes up with the 7 of Wands, right? That's very much this energy of pushing through, like to secure something. So you guys, again, may find yourselves needing to advocate in some regard, whether it's in career or with a partner. But the button, ultimately, it's about security, right? So, and I think that's a big driver with this 5 of Pentacles this month. I think you guys are really pushing through because you're looking for that security and feeling solid in career, in love, in life, just in general. So then we just close it out with a little bit of advice, group 2. We've got the skull and crossbones, which can talk about red flags. We've got the little clothespin, which talks about securing and holding something down. And then we also have this initial, which is the letter G, right? Yes, the letter G. So letter G could be somebody's initials here. Again, take it as it resonates for you. But I feel like what this is saying is like, pay attention for red flags. And for some reason, I'm getting control being something to watch out for here. Because this, even though this talks about being secure, it talks about holding something down. And so with it coming up next to this like skull and crossbones, I feel like just a red flag to watch out for, whether in yourself or others, is like this, maybe a need to be controlling or consuming or holding something or someone down in a more toxic way. Okay, so just watch for that. Listen to your intuition, watch for the red flags, make sure that you're not overly idealizing people in your life, and that you're setting good boundaries, okay? So this is what I see, group 2. Comment below. Let me know what's been happening with you guys and what are your plans for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading really soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to this Chalcedony, this is going to be your message for the month of December. So we're going to be getting into Oracle and Tarot first. We're also going to be doing your charms and dice, which I'll have timestamp below, in case any of you guys like to skip ahead to that part earlier. But let's go ahead and see what overall the month of December is potentially looking like for you. Ooh, so we've got the void coming up. We have Saturn in Libra in the 7th house. We have ornaments. And then you guys had 2 of these pop out. So you have Magician in the Mirror and the Garden in the Gate. Nice. All right. So what is happening in December, group 3? Well, the void is like really interesting because this is sort of like a liminal space in a lot of ways. This card, it talks about destiny, darkness, maybe like being in a space where we're not sure what we're doing or where we're going. It just makes me feel like there's a gap, or maybe you guys have left something behind, or you guys could be feeling, I feel like, a little bit overwhelmed with like a gap that's been left in your life, or maybe there's like a sense of there's a lot of possibility right now. And not being quite sure like where you want to go or what option is right for you. It does give me a vibe of something has been lost or shifted, and you're in this like liminal space of like, okay, where is next for me? And with ornaments coming up here, this is a beautiful energy. This says, so it is a remembrance of what once was, and with what will be, a fragile beauty beaming upon thy. So when we think of ornaments, right? Ornaments are sometimes, I know in my family, they are passed down like from generation to generation. And so they can kind of resemble history. They can represent like what was in our life. And they can kind of become these trinkets and mementos of like, what do I want to keep around with me long term? And then there's also this message with ornaments around like moving things around on the tree so that it looks just right. You know what I mean? Reorganizing something in our life. And so I feel like for a lot of my group 3 viewers, there's this sense of, really deciding, okay, like I'm in this liminal space. I'm in this maybe transitory period. I have my history. I have my past. Maybe deciding like, what am I keeping with me and what do I need to move around? And I do feel like a restless energy here, right? Magician in the Mirror, the Garden in the Gate, in particular, the Garden in the Gate. This talks about being in a comfortable space, but longing for more. Having built up some semblance of security and comfort in a life that you enjoy, generally speaking, but feeling restless and ready for more. I just heard isolated. I feel like maybe some of you guys have been isolated. Magician in the Mirror talks about manifestation, manifesting more, and realizing too that life is a mirror in a lot of ways. That's what this card really talks about. It talks about like your experiences are often a direct mirror or reflection of you. And so maybe some of you guys have been feeling a little bit restless. Maybe some of you guys have been feeling like you're longing for more. There's stuff from the past that maybe we're letting go of or that we're ready to kind of reshuffle, metaphorically speaking. And I think a big part of this month is about realizing your power as you're kind of navigating a transition period and deciding, okay, what do I really want for myself? What's going to fulfill me? What do I want to create for myself? What experiences do I want to have? Now, you guys also have the 7th house, devotion, Saturn in Libra. The 7th house talks about partnership, serious committed relationships, marriages, business partnerships. And Saturn, I love that it says devotion because Saturn is that, right? Like Saturn is dedication, devotion, structure, commitment. Sometimes Saturn can feel restrictive though, right? Because not restrictions always in a bad way, but it's about delayed gratification, right? It's like doing the right thing, honoring my commitments and responsibilities now so that I can reap the reward in the future, right? So you kind of have this energy coming up here around the theme of partnerships. One thing that I'm noticing about this card is we've got these 2 birds here, and it almost looks like one of the birds has passed away or is taking a rest, depending on how you view it. And so I'm wondering if this liminal space for some of you guys has to do with partnership. Maybe some of you don't have a partner and you would like one that's more serious. Maybe some of my group 3 viewers have been married and are getting a divorce with Saturn in the 7th. Maybe some of you guys are having a disconnection with a partner and you're feeling restless and, kind of in this liminal space with that. So it's like, I think a lot of what you guys are thinking about this month has to do with that theme of partnerships and commitments to others, and serious commitments to others, and what you want mirrored back to you. Okay, like honoring the past and maybe deciding, okay, do we just need to rework something here, or is it time for something different? Okay, so let's keep going. Group 3. What else, Spirit, can you tell us about group number 3 and what is happening for them in December? Four of Wands. Yeah, this can be marriage energy. Ooh, hold up. Just a few too many. 4 of Wands. 6 of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. And the 7 of Cups. Maybe some of you guys are dating again or exploring new options, right? Like that's kind of what the 8 of Cups, the 7 of Cups talks about. It's like exploration, testing things out. Sometimes it can be confusion. Like I don't know what I want, or I'm into Lululand right now. I don't know. I don't feel like you're into Lululand, but there could be with that Knight of Cups, like a sense of exploring new options. Right. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean you're exploring new options in love and partnership. It could just be I'm exploring new options in my life in general and deciding what I want to commit to with Saturn. Right. Because I do feel like a lot of you guys are seeking some sort of a new experience than what you're coming from. I think a lot of my group 3 viewers, like especially beginning of the month of December, there's like this sense of community, belonging, home, family, maybe marriage coming up. And maybe you guys are having some genuinely nice experiences at the beginning of the month, which makes sense. I mean, this is the holiday season for a lot of people, so there could be more of that community energy around you. But it's just interesting because it's like next to the ornaments, which is making me think like this is the past thing, right? This is the comfortable thing, the past thing. And with the Six of Pentacles, I almost feel like you guys transitioning into a space where it's like, I don't know that I want to give that much to that anymore. You know, the Six of Pentacles, it is like the breadcrumb energy of the tarot. Not always a bad thing, but you know, there's like this energy of being very measured and very balanced and very reserved in how much we're giving and why, right? So maybe for some of you, this just kind of looks like protecting your energy, like not wanting to be so generous with your time, efforts, with everybody, right? For others of you, if you're connecting to that theme of partnerships, maybe it's just about I don't know, like I just feel like for those of you guys that are in like a marriage, like a serious relationship, I feel like you're not into it anymore. That's how I feel. And I feel like this Knight of Cups, there's this desire for more, that you're exploring new and different options. We also have the Devil here, and then we also have the Tower. Ooh, and then we also have the Three of Swords. Oh man, what is happening with you guys? Yeah, I think I just think that you guys are maybe there's been some sort of a shakeup here, some sort of a shakeup, some sort of a heartbreak, and some sort of toxic patterns here that you're wanting to break out of, or maybe that's driving some of this for some of you. Take it as it resonates for you. We have a Queen of Wands here as well. This could be your energy. This could be someone you're attracted to. But yeah, I feel like there's this desire that I see to create something different for yourself. So let's keep going. I am going to pull one card for career, and then we'll pull another card for love, and then we'll see if those, like what other themes we can specifically get into with the charms, okay? Now, I will say this, you guys, like the Knight of Cups, Seven of Cups, this may even just be you like going out, having fun, making new friends, like trying things out, having new experiences. It doesn't necessarily have to connect to that, but I just feel like a lot of you guys with that Saturn in the 7th, like that's a pretty serious energy. And it just makes me feel like a lot of you guys are going through like a divorce or a breakup or a separation of some sort from a serious partnership or a serious commitment in your life. And it's like you're in this liminal space where it's like, I have to give something to that past this month, but ultimately I want to explore and honor a new future here. Okay, so let's see. Career energy, group 3. So Spirit, what does group 3 need to know about their career this month? Generally speaking. Answers. You will resolve your current situation soon, work-wise. Work-wise, you find unique ways to stand out. You find a new opening with job security. So maybe some of you guys are... Oh, look at this. And we have people skills with the pineapple. You have a flair for working well with others. You could be a diplomat, counselor, salesperson, or head of a company. So you're definitely flexing your interpersonal skills, which makes sense with the Knight of Cups. That could be part of this too. Maybe it's career and business energy for some of you. And this is about you looking for a new opportunity here because maybe you're feeling restless in what you're in. But it feels like this month you're getting clarity, like you're getting answers. And maybe this could, for some of you, be leading to some sort of a new role. Something where you get to be in the spotlight or leverage your communication and people skills more. Okay, let's grab this deck here. I'm very curious to see what comes up in love for you because I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a big theme this month. Let's see. So Spirit, what does group 3 need to know about their love life this month? And there is a separate reading for love that I've already posted, so you guys can go to that if you want a more in-depth look. We have someone else. Someone is in the middle. Someone is trying to sabotage this. I need more information. Let's see. There's third-party energy here, group 3. Give it time. Everything in divine timing. Let things flow. And then we do also have intuition. The red flag you saw, the red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. Well, that's a very blunt message. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We did have a lot of heavy energy at the bottom of this deck, group 3, with this devil, this tower, this 3 of swords, this queen of wands. Like, there definitely appears to be some heavy situation. This can be third-party energy, breakups, shattered illusions, like temptation energy, unhealthy dynamics. So just keep it in mind. Like, there does seem to be something that needs time to resolve here when it comes to your love life this month. There's third-party energy here, whether that's cheating or like a family member, like there's someone else in the middle of whatever this situation is in your love life, okay? And Spirit is saying you need to give it time and just kind of go with the flow. Don't try to control the situation. I don't feel like you guys are. I feel like you're out here exploring, to be honest. Okay, so very interesting, group 3. I'm going to go ahead and clear all of our cards off, and then we'll get into your charms. All right, group 3, let's go ahead and see what other info we can get for your month of December with the dice and the charms. Okay. Not the 7th house of partnerships coming up for you again. That's so interesting. Okay. Waning crescent. For career, we've got number 7. Oh, and then we also have air energy here as well. All right, let's go ahead and grab some charms. Got some home and family stuff coming up, which connects to that 4 of wands. Okay. I feel like I just want like maybe a couple more here. Give you a more comprehensive view. All right, health and well-being. We've got lots of stuff here. Okay. I definitely feel like this unicorn coming up, it's like at the center, and I'm thinking about this 7 of cups, okay? Like, the unicorn can talk about like fantasy and not seeing things clearly, projection. Unicorn, there's also like that term where some people feel like they're a unicorn, meaning like they're super rare and so rare that like, do they even exist, right? So there could be just something to watch for this month, group 3, around like making sure that you're not projecting and just seeing things clearly. Operating from a place that's more grounded versus fantasy. And with the 7 of cups, I do think there is a little risk here around like idealization, or like this always reminds me of like being drunk in love, like Delulu land a little bit. I think I said that earlier. So just with the devil here, you know, just be careful not to get sucked into temptation, or just be aware that if you choose to navigate this month the way things look now, that you could be operating from a place of like lust or fantasy or projection, and it may not be your energy, it could be someone else. So just want to flag that, okay? All right, so what else? You're navigating something with home and family. With the letter O, this could be someone's initials or just something connected to you specifically. Just take the initials as they resonate with you. I don't always really interpret those because they can mean different things to different people. But this kind of confirms what I was getting with that 4 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles in the reading, right? Like, it definitely feels like there is something comfortable from the past, something established, and you're sort of navigating how much energy and effort you want to give to that now in your life. So maybe that's like just something you're kind of navigating through in December that is significant here. You also have some energy here under health and well-being. So we've got the playing cards, maybe like playing games or tarot or something could be a part of your health and well-being practices this month. We also have the moon and stars, which can talk about idealization, right? Or being adored. So there could be something that you're just really adoring or really enjoying. Maybe like astrology and tarot for some of you is a thing. I don't know why I'm getting that with the cards and then like the star and moon. But there's definitely something here that's faded around health and well-being this month, having to do with either you being adored or you adoring something. something aspirational, which I think again ties back to that unicorn. Like there's something aspirational here, or dream-like or fantasy-like that's connected to well-being. And again, the unicorn, it doesn't have to be bad. I know that I talked a lot about like projection, but you know, this can be also like dreams. The Seven of Cups can also be like dreams. Like, what do I visualize for myself? And I do think that's a pretty big part of the month too, right? With this energy, Magician in the Mirror and the Garden in the Gate, right? All right, so in the realm of career and business, you guys have an initial here, which I think is the letter G. Let me look at it closer. Yes, the letter G. And then you guys also have the number 7, which talks about introspection and intuition. So this can be a month in career. This makes actually a lot of sense with the card that we got for you guys, where you're sort of like going within and looking for the answers within you. And so maybe through conducting some self-reflection here, you figure out the answer to a problem that you've been having with work. And maybe it leads you to something new, some sort of a new job. With that Knight of Cups, you guys could be networking, talking to people, building relationships, and just taking that information in and reflecting on it to get the answers that you need to move forward. You guys also have some stuff happening in social life too. So you've got the Sword, which is the air element. This talks about personal beliefs, ambition, our thought processes, the way we communicate. So you guys could be talking more, being a little bit more social this month. Again, I can see that with the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Cups. And this little diamond talks about promises and commitments. So you guys might be making more of a commitment to something in your social life, or more commitments to people with others. It's interesting with belief systems though. Like this could be something that's more tied to like core values or views that you hold. So think like maybe political views or social views, or religious views, spiritual views. Like it could be anything really, but it feels like it's something that's connected to your beliefs and core values that you're committing to, that's getting you out and around other people. Now, coming back here, we have the 7th house, and this is coming up in the house of self, okay? So we've got 7th house, we've got the little worker bee, and then we also have the bells. So the bells can talk about communication and news. So maybe you guys are getting some news here, and maybe you're getting news from a partner. It could be a business partner or a romantic partner. The bee talks about teamwork and productivity, but it's interesting that it's coming up in this house of self, right? So one of the things that I would say, group 3, is like this month, I feel like you're being guided to focus on self as it pertains to your one-on-one partnerships with others, because this is teamwork and productivity. Maybe you guys are getting some news or communication from someone as it pertains to teamwork and productivity energy in a one-on-one partnership with them. It might not be bad, it might not be good, but I think there is something about yourself that is being illuminated through this. And depending on I think it's going to depend for each person. Like if you've been showing up really well in your one-on-one partnerships, it might be good news or good feedback. If you've been showing up maybe not so well, there could be like an accountability conversation here, right? But with teamwork and productivity, it's making me feel like there's something connected to work with this, but it could absolutely be talking about teamwork and productivity with like a romantic partner, a marital partner, something like that as well. So again, just be open to whatever possibility. It just seems like there's some news or some sort of communication coming your way centered around one-on-one partnerships and how you specifically have shown up in those one-on-one partnerships. And then to close us out, group 3, we've got some advice here from Spirit. So we've got the waning crescent moon, we've got the little crown, and then we have the letter D. So again, the D could be initials here. Waning crescent moon talks about restoration and relaxation. And the crown talks about honor and respect. So I think your advice this month is relax, make sure that you're getting enough rest. And with that crown energy coming through, this talks about, making choices and decisions out of respect for yourself. Okay. And maybe part of that self-respect is pulling back your energy, right? In partnerships, or, like maybe for some of you, you're the one that's communicating. Like you self are communicating or delivering news to a one-on-one partner, right? That could be significant for some of you. But there's a need here, I think Spirit is saying, to get some rest and to move with integrity and honorability and respect in what you're doing this month. So it kind of brings me back to these undertone cards that are pretty heavy and pretty loaded, right? Just be really mindful of falling into temptation or falling into illusion with people, because I see that energy is very present here. And it's not just you guys, by the way. Every single group has had an element of that. Just it's played out a little differently in each reading. So it must be a core theme that the collective are experiencing right now. So this is what I'm seeing for you, group 3. Comment below. Let me know a little bit about your plans for the month of December. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading soon. Bye.